The St. Louis Cardinals drop an absolute dud on Sunday in Florida. Is it time to start thinking about shutting down Matthew Liberatore? This is Locked on Cardinals.
You are Locked on Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, and I'm your host for Locked on Cardinals, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can find me on X at JD Sports Radio, as well as the podcast on X at LO_Cardinals. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at Locked on Cardinals. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving you all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Halloween. It's getting spooky around the Cardinals right now. Things are not going well. The St. Louis Cardinals did not have a good day on Sunday, although the future looks mighty bright with JJ Wetherholt waiting in the wings. He continues to just crush it at AAA Memphis. We'll discuss what's going on with him and the upcoming series with the Pirates, all coming up in today's episode. But let's get through what we saw on Sunday, which, let's be honest, it wasn't all that pretty. It didn't start off so bad for Matthew Liberatore, who, facing the team that drafted him first round back in 2018 before trading him to the Cardinals, part of that deal for Jose Martinez and Randy Arozarena back in 2020. Libby moved to the rotation this year, a move that, for the long term seems to be the right move, right? I was initially nervous about taking someone who was as good as Libby was in the bullpen last year and removing him from the mix to go back to the rotation. But with the lack of depth of starters that are in this organization due to bad player development and just injuries, the move was smart. And it looked really good early on in this year when, after the first 2 months of the season, he was 3-4, but he had an ERA of 3.06 over 11 starts. So a heck of a start. Then in June, things did start to slide a little bit for Libby. He had a couple of bad outings mixed with some very good ones as well, which allowed him to go 3-2, but the ERA jumped to 5.14. And that's when you had that first fatigue scare, if you remember, and his mechanics kind of got out of whack. You saw the velo drop a little bit, and we're like, uh-oh, he's not hurt, right? Ended up he wasn't hurt. He was okay. Ended up rebounding just fine with 3 straight wins against the White Sox, the Cubs, and then the Guardians, throwing 19 innings, striking out 14 with an ERA of 1.89. Against Cleveland, he was really good. If you remember, he fired, 6 innings, shutout. 6 shutout innings and 5 strikeouts. He had 5 walks in that game too, but things appeared to be headed in the right direction again. That game against Cleveland on June 29th was the last time Libby has won a game so far this season. Here we are on August 25th, and he still hasn't picked up another W since that day at the end of June. Since then, he's made 8 starts. He's gone 0-5. The team is 3-5 in his starts. Has allowed 41 hits in 34 innings, 22 earned runs, just 22 strikeouts. Things didn't get any better on Sunday either for him. When, much like his season so far, he started off good before trouble finally found him, following a 4.5-hour rain delay, which was brutal. This is why Florida teams have roofs on their big league parks. It's because of the rain that is constant in Florida, basically a rainforest atmosphere there. Libby and the boys had to take the field. It was just hot, sticky, muggy, just nasty. It was just a nasty day. And don't get me wrong, the Rays had to play in this soup as well. But, man, it just feels like the Cardinals have put up with some real brutal weather so far this season for them. No matter where they go, whether it's at home, it's always 100 degrees outside. They go on the road, it's disgusting wherever they're playing. It's just been tough. And I'm not trying to give them an excuse, but, it's just they look miserable out there in a lot of these series. Anyway, Libby gets through those first 3 innings with relative ease. Nothing alarming happened. A couple of singles. Although the last out in the 3rd inning off of the bat of Junior Caminero was a missile. That was 112 off the bat to end the inning. Kind of a sign of things to come in this one. 4th inning, 2 outs. It's former Cub Christian Morel who breaks the seal on the scoring for the game with a 2-out solo shot. Fastball, inner half, and Morel turns on it, lifts it out of the ballpark. 1-0 Rays. No big deal. Balls leave the yard in that ballpark quite frequently. So really not a big deal. Nothing bad about that. You're like, okay, the guy put a good swing on it, knocked it out of the park. Okay. Fifth inning was a different story now. This is where it was really on Libby. He was the one that was causing the problems. Leadoff guy, a lefty and I always screw this up. Is it Josh Lowe or is he Josh Lau? I think he's Lowe, right? It's incredible that they have the Lows and the Laus all on the same team. He's Lowe, Josh Lowe. All right. I always screw that. I know Nathaniel Lowe. There's a couple of them right there. Anyway, but he leads off. He's a left-hander, leads off, and Libby walks him on 5 pitches. Big no-no. We know this. He knows that. That's a problem. And everything was outside and away. It wasn't like he was nibbling and missing. Everything was off the plate. It didn't look good. Next at bat is their rookie stud, Carson Williams. This was BS. This at bat was crap because Williams, a rookie, gets not 1, but 2 calls on pitches that were in the zone, and they're called balls. I don't know why. One of them, I guess you could say, was tight in the zone. The other one was a strike. It was in the zone. I don't even know how you missed that. But 2 of them go to the rookie instead of Matthew Liberatore. Ends up working an 8-pitch walk because of that. Should have been an out. Libby gets screwed there. Pitches 3 and 5, both hit the zone according to the MLB strike zone. I cannot wait for the ABS so this kind of horse manure can stop happening to pitchers. Next hitter tries to bunt, but Gorman snags it. 1 out. Thank you very much. We'll take that. But then the Rays pull off double steal, something they're very, very good at. They steal a lot of bases, and we know the Cardinals aren't great at holding people on, so they get the runners over anyways. Then Libby gets real wild again with the at-bat against Chandler Simpson, another lefty, which, these are the matchups that you want Libby to dominate in, and to have him struggle in this inning against the lefties, that's not what you like to see. So ends up walking Simpson as well. Now you got the bases loaded for the Rays' most dangerous hitter in Junior Caminero. 20-pitch inning, pushed Libby to 73 and 4 1/3 innings, and Ollie didn't want him facing the righty Caminero, who scalded the ball in his last at-bat against him. So he calls on Matt Swanson, who had been really, really good, something like 15, almost 16 scoreless innings. So he was on a roll. He's a right-hander coming in to face Caminero. I got no problems with this. At all. But unfortunately, Swanson, 1 pitch was all it took. Fastball over the heart of the plate. It was up in the zone, and Caminero obliterates it over the wall in right field for an Apo Taco grand slam. His 37th dinger of the season. That makes it a 5-0 lead for the Rays. Basically, a game set match right there. And like I said before, the ball can fly at Steinbrenner Field. So it's not that I was giving up on the Cardinals, but the way things were going and the way they were looking for them offensively and just the body language of the team, it just felt like that was it. That was going to do it. Libby's final numbers, 4 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, 5 Ks, 1 home run. 4 innings into it, they were fine. And then he hits a wall in that 5th inning. Didn't get a lot of help from the umpire in that second walk. And it's kind of what Libby's been doing. It's kind of been the issue for him recently. He's just not pitching deep into games and not pitching all that great anyway. It's not like they're pulling him when he's, only giving up like 1 run on 3 hits over 4 1/3 or something. No, he's in trouble when this is happening. So should the Cardinals consider shutting down Matthew Liberatore? Is that something that is on the table right now? It doesn't sound like that's what they're thinking about. It doesn't sound like they're considering that right now. Now, Derek Gould from STLtoday.com put out an article, and he had a quote from Ollie after the game about Libby pitching deeper into games. And Ollie said, it's something you want to see. I think we've been building toward that. It was more the walks that chased him and the better matchup for Swanson. It's something to work toward. I think he'll get over the hump. So to me, it sounds like they're not thinking about shutting him down by any means. The Cardinals aren't reporting any issues with them. They're keeping an eye on things. They've said that before when you start to see the velo drops in certain games, and they're like, all right, we're going to monitor it. We'll keep an eye on this. And I certainly don't think they are wanting to risk future damage to him just to get through this particular season, which is slowly but surely falling into the toilet. It's a shame there isn't more starting pitching depth in the organization right now to help out with this. Although Quinn Matthews pitched very, very good on Sunday once again and has been excellent over like the last month or so. But there's just not a lot of pitching depth as far as starting rotation goes. It's why no matter how much fans cry, they're not going to just drop Miles Michaelis. They're not going to move on from Andre Palante as a part of this rotation right now. They just don't have the arms to do that. They are doing their best to piece things together just for the bullpen right now with the rotation and the bullpen. We just had to do a lot of shuffling around since the trade deadline. You take 3 capable arms out of the bullpen, and you got to fill not only those holes, but you got rid of Fetty at the same time, so you got to fill that hole. So there's been a lot for them to overcome. Offensively, the team didn't have a whole lot going on either in this game. Race starter Ryan Pepiot was Ryan Pepiot. No T at the end. I don't know why I said it that way. Anyway, he was quoted as saying that, the Cardinals came out more aggressive than we expected. This was the part that got me. I was like, oh, they might have been wanting to go home. He says they just came out firing. It was a 6-pitch first inning. Then I threw more pitches to Contreras and his at bat in the second inning than I did the whole first. So just filling up the zone, getting ahead early, and then making them hit their way on. Whatever the reason was that they were swinging early in counts, it didn't work. Cardinals had only 1 hit. They got shut out until the 7th inning. We're able to get on the board on Jordan Walker's RBI single with 2 outs in the 7th. It scored Burley. Then in the 9th, Burley scores again on Nolan Gorman's single, but that's really all they could muster, man. It was not a whole lot of fun to watch. The offense, which doesn't have Nato, Donnie, or Victor Scott, also without Masyn Winn, who continues to battle a knee issue. Would this injury open the door for, say, a JJ Wetherholt to come on up to the roster? We'll discuss that coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. The grape ginger and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game, that's for sure. Now, whether you're out on the course or you just need a little push, a little extra push, if you will, to power through the day. I mean, you got a case of the Mondays today. I get it. I get them all the time. 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. So the grape, ginger, lime flavor 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. And now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com. That's 5hewin.com. For full rules and entry, no purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters Tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on X or TikTok anytime you want. Your feedback is always welcome and encouraged. We also have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. So go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thank you for helping us out. We do appreciate that. So Masyn Winn has been dealing with this knee injury for quite some time now. All-Star break, we found out that is when, he's been dealing with some soreness and some pain. He had that anti-inflammatory shot to help with it, help him deal with it. The preference for Masyn was that he wanted to play through it. He felt like he was fine, and he wanted to keep going. He wants to be there for the team. He wants to play, and that's great. But you're at a part of the season now where things aren't so good, right? And he was out of the lineup on Sunday. and was scheduled to have an MRI today. On Monday, I have not seen an update about anything that has to do with this MRI yet. I know they were hopeful that he'd be able to return to the lineup on Monday against the Pirates, but like I said, scouring, trying to see if there's anything, but I haven't seen anything so far about Masyn Winn's knee. So hopefully that's good news. But it doesn't sound great that one of your best players and one of your young studs is dealing with an injury. And similar to Libby, is the rest of the season really worth risking more damage to someone like Masyn, who is a cornerstone of your franchise? I read that the plan is maybe some arthroscopic surgery in the offseason. It's about pain management at this point. Like, do I need my guy playing through all that pain right now for this season? When you were in the hunt and you were still battling for a spot, sure, like, let's go. But at this point, I certainly don't think so. And the difference here is if he needs to miss time, you got a few capable infielders to play in his place. It's not like Matthew Liberatore, where starting rotation depth is scarce. Like, you got guys. Gorman is holding down third base right now, but obviously he can play some second base with Nato out. Fermin and JC can handle second base and shortstop if need be, but you've also got JJ Wetherholt sitting here, waiting, crushing the ball at AAA Memphis. He's there, and if Masyn needs to hit the IL, why not let JJ get a taste of the big leagues? What's the big deal? JJ was facing reigning NL Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale on Sunday. Did all right. Had 2 hits against him, including a double, had 3 hits in the game. In the 5-game series against Gwinnett, which they just wrapped up, he had 9 hits, drove in 3, had 2 stolen bases, and is now hitting .328 since getting promoted to Memphis with 9 home runs and 20 RBIs in 31 games. Like, he's annihilating the baseball. He looks fantastic. The Cardinals don't really have a whole lot of reasons for fans to come to the ballpark right now. Like, I'm nervous to see what these crowds are going to look like against the Pittsburgh Pirates over the next 4 days. Like, it's going to be bad. And there's not a lot of things generating interest in the team, not only to come to the ballpark and spend money, but also just watching them on TV. Adding JJ to the roster would surely add a jolt of interest to this team, that's for sure. Now, our guy Thomas Govrain from RedwoodRants.com, who is going to be on the show tomorrow, he's scheduled to be, recently put out 3 arguments for and against adding JJ to the roster. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already, but we'll talk with Thomas about that tomorrow. But my whole thing was, coming into this, was just the numbers crunch. You had Masyn Winn at shortstop. You still want to be able to see what Thomas JC offers you. But if Masyn goes down and needs to spend some time on the IL, no offense to Jose Fermin, but wouldn't you rather give JJ a taste of the pros like some of the other teams are doing with their top prospects right now? Like, wouldn't you like to do that? I'm sure there are different reasons for not bringing him up when it comes to salary and stuff like, things of that nature where, starting his clock going, whatever. But as somebody who's just a fan and wants to watch the Cardinals, bringing JJ Wetherholt up to the roster would certainly have me tuning in. I wouldn't want to miss that. I wouldn't. If I had a chance to get down the ballpark, I would go to the ballpark if I had a chance to get down there to go see JJ play. That's exciting. That's fun. And I would love to see what he could do against some of the pitching that, the Pirates are bringing into town. And, they're going to be going to Cincinnati coming up this weekend. I mean, I feel like that would be cool to see him going up against, some of the division rivals. So let me know what you think about this. Like, do you think it's a good or a bad idea to bring JJ or keep him down if Masyn Winn has to miss time? If he doesn't have to miss time and he's available to play and says he's good to go, then you let Masyn play. But I don't see the pressure in making him go out there with a troublesome knee. Like, I don't want that to bother him for years to come. Do you? I don't. So I'd rather clean it up and get it taken care of right away, and then be ready to go in the spring. So, but that's just me. So we'll keep you posted on anything that has to do with Masyn Winn's knee, but we'll see what happens, whether or not this opens the door for JJ Wetherholt to come up or not. We're going to talk about this Pirates series. coming up next here on Locked On Cardinals. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day. It's a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling out who your MVP is going to be this year, you're eyeing up a long shot division winner, or maybe you're just ready to crown the Super Bowl champion before week one even kicks off, this is going to be your moment. September 4th is when the season kicks off officially. And August 26th, that's your chance here with the official FanDuel Futures Day. Take a flyer on the MVP race. Like last year, it was Josh Allen. He was awesome. Rarely do MVPs go back to back anymore. It doesn't happen very often, but usually it's a quarterback. There's plenty of them out there that are pretty darn good. Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, obviously is somebody. Lamar Jackson's always in contention. So maybe take one of those other guys other than Josh Allen. But you can have Josh Allen if you want, but use that knowledge that you have and visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listens today. For your second listen, check out the new Locked On MLB Game Night. It's every game. It's every night. You get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your podcast. Myself and John Frisch will be your hosts for the next few nights. So come on by and see us. Cardinals fell to 64-67 on Sunday. They got the Pittsburgh Pirates in town for a 4-game series starting on Monday. It'll be Michael McGreevy on the hill against former Cardinal Johan Oviedo. McGreevy, I mean, is there really anything bad to say about this kid? He has been excellent since taking over as a full-time member of the rotation. You know, it sucked that the Cardinals waited and kept hoping that Eric Fetty would turn things around, because McGreevy, all he's done is come in and solidify the rotation a bit. He's giving you the same innings, but he's giving you a chance to win, which is something Eric Fetty was not doing for like 2 months. And they just kept waiting and hoping that he would turn it around. It never worked, and it cost the Cardinals dearly as far as how this season ended up playing out. He's had one hiccup so far against the Padres, who are going to go to the playoffs. They're neck and neck with I think they're tied with the Dodgers now for the NL West again. But he's just been a steady influence on this rotation, and he's coming off a win over the Marlins last week where he was really good again. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, struck out 5. He doesn't walk people, doesn't put himself in problematic areas during a game. It's usually, if he's going to give up anything, it's usually because an error has happened, which happened to him against the Marlins, which is why there were 4 runs scored off him, only 2 were earned. And then, of course, I think it was his own error too. That was the one that he threw away, I think. But you got the error, and then, he'll give up some hits from time to time because he's not a, big strikeout guy. He's a pitch to contact guy. But he's been really, really good. It's been fun to watch. When he's on the mound, you feel like you got a chance to win. You can't always say that about some of the other guys in the rotation right now, can you? He has not faced the Pirates yet this season, but they come in and they're rolling right now. The Pirates went 5-1 last week. They took 2 of 3 against the Blue Jays and then swept the Rockies. They've won 4 in a row as they come to St. Louis. Apparently only the Cardinals struggle against the Rockies, which is super sad. You lost 4 of 6 to the Colorado Rockies this year. Unbelievable. Oviedo and Mitch Keller are the only announced starters. So Oviedo tonight, Keller on Tuesday for the Pirates so far. They did call up their top pitching prospect, Bubba Chandler, which is somebody you might want to watch because he's awesome. Him and Skenes together, that's pretty naughty. He was outstanding in his debut. He did not get a start, but came in relief and it was awesome. He was awesome. The Cardinals sent out some probables for the Pirates outside of those 2 games, but neither of them were Chandler or Paul Skenes. For what it's worth, Skenes continues to be as dominant as ever. Now has the 2nd lowest ERA in the live ball era over his first 50 games at 2.02. So it's not going to hurt my feelings if they have to miss Paul Skenes in this series, although the Cardinals still haven't lost to him yet, and it's kind of must-watch TV when Paul Skenes is on the mound, even if it is going to be against the Cardinals, and the odds of beating him are not great. But still, they haven't fallen to him yet. Not yet. Scott has got their number. The Birds have a 7-game lead over the Pirates to stay out of the cellar in the NL Central. All right. You have 4 games here against them. You're 5.5 back in the wild card. I know I said we're not going to talk playoffs, and we're not. But you currently have a losing record against the Pirates this season at 4-5. All right. You have a chance to turn that around over the next 4 days. Let's do that. Let's get some wins here. Let's get a small overall victory for the season and have a winning record against the Pirates. Can we do that? I would like to see that. All right. And it's going to start with Michael McGreevy tonight, who I would expect to be good. I would expect him to be very good. So I'll be tuning in for it. So make sure you're following along on Twitter, or X as it's called, to find out what's going on there. Let's check one more time, see if we got any updates on anything with Masyn Winn. I am not seeing anything so far. So let's check this real fast since I got you at the end here. No, we got nothing. We got nothing with Masyn Winn yet. So no lineups yet. So don't know if he's in there or not. But again, keep following at X. We'll get you all the updates and let you know what's going on with Masyn if anything breaks. But thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X if you haven't already at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.